So let's talk more now about local government and that hat-trick by the DA for Gauteng's metros. You may remember before the elections we spoke to mayoral candidates for Ekurhuleni. Among them was the DA candidate, Refiloe Nt'sekhe. But last night the DA's Tanya Campbell was elected to preside over that East Rand municipality. So what happened to Refiloe? Well, she joins us now. Hi Refiloe, you were on all the posters but you didn't get the job. What happened?
Good evening to you, and let me greet South Africa and particularly the residents of Ekurhuleni. And I thank you for the platform, because I think it's time to take residents into confidence of what actually happened. So when I stood for mayoral candidate and I was a successful candidate, I was asked, because as you know, I'm a sitting member of the provincial legislature, will you become a councillor when you lose, or will you only stay on if you win? And I said to the leader, these are the 4 scenarios. If we lose and have an unstable coalition, I will return to my seat in the legislature to continue to serve Ekurhuleni from that seat. But if we have a stable government and we govern outright, then I will stay as a mayor, because for me, I wanted to completely have a 5-year term to implement my vision for turning around the city of Ekurhuleni. And so, as you know, when the results were announced, ANC got 38%, DA got 28%, and EFF got 13.57%, and the other parties, I won't go through them because it's quite a lot. And when I did the number crunching, and after a federal resolution that basically said we will not govern with the EFF and we can't take ANC out and then prop them back into power, I knew that there was no way we could govern in any way, because you need the 50+1 majority to govern. And I tendered in my resignation on the 8th of November to say, this is not going to be a stable coalition government, and the potential governments we have to govern, the parties to govern with, are not the ones that the resolution has agreed with. So we cannot govern Ekurhuleni.
I hear you.
I tendered in my resignation. I tendered my resignation on the 8th of November already.
Why? But why? You know, none of the other DA mayoral candidates did that, and it paid off. Why did you jump the gun?
I think you need to understand that Ekurhuleni was at 28%. Look at the statistics for all the other municipalities. And remember that the other mayoral candidates were already councillors. I was not a councillor, I was still a sitting MPL.
Yeah.
So that's why I was specifically asked whether I would govern in whatever outcome had come through or not.
Yeah.
But the reality, 28% is far lower than what Tanya and Joburg had actually achieved in order to get into government.
So was it your idea?
So when you do the number
I get your point. Was it your suggestion that you stepped down at that point, or did someone suggest it to you?
No. Nobody suggests anything to me. Obviously, we sit as an organization, and when you've gone through, remember, I'm also a sitting deputy federal chairperson of the Democratic Alliance. And when the resolution was raised, I was part of that resolution to say,
so it was your decision.
No government with ANC, no government with EFF. So you do the number crunching, and you realize there's no way you can get into government. What happened yesterday completely took us by surprise. Because remember, we never approached the EFF to go into coalition of any sort. And they decided to back DA.
So it was your decision to go back to the MPL. Your decision.
Yes.
Do you wish you hadn't?
No, I don't, because you need to realize that when you are being backed by EFF, especially after what we learned with the 2016 elections, it's going to be a government of, we don't know when this government is going to end. And I said to you at the beginning with my opening remarks, if I don't have a 5-year term to implement my vision, I will not be able to get control of the finances of the municipality, which I promised, so we can start reducing the corruption in this municipality and turn around electricity, water outages, well as the
I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, you were on the posters. Don't you feel you've let down
Correct.
the people who said, you know, I really like what Refiloe is about, I'm going to give her my vote?
You know, the truth is, it's a bittersweet moment for me, because it's important to have been the mayor of Ekurhuleni, because that was my vision. But at the same time, if I felt I was not going to be able to implement my vision in the 5-year term and give stability to the metro, I definitely feel that I didn't let the people down. But I think what's important, it's a lesson for voters and for political parties to say, when we ask for your vote, it's important when people like Refiloe, they vote for Refiloe and the Democratic Alliance. Because with 28%, it's a reality. We do not have a majority to govern Ekurhuleni.
So what are you saying about Tanya's chances of having any luck whatsoever? Do you think that she's been handed a poison chalice?
No, I want to say to you the following. Remember, Tanya was the caucus leader even before the election. She was already a sitting councillor. And as a standard tradition in the DA, because we are the biggest opposition party, we always put a candidate up. So Tanya still has a chance to do something within however long term she has while she's in government. Maybe steady the finances of the municipality, start looking at servicing the substations. As you know, I said I'm in load shedding right now, but there is something where you can start implementing some good governance.
So I don't understand. Sorry, just explain, how is it that Tanya is going to be able to make some progress, but you withdrew because you thought it's going to be an unstable government, even if we got in, which in the end you did. How is Tanya going to succeed where you won't be able to?
Remember, my resignation was on the 8th of November. We were voted in by EFF yesterday because we did not, it was a surprise. We did not know that EFF would have voted us out. We put Tanya up, not expecting to win, but expecting people to know that we're still the official opposition, and here's the candidate that we would have put up as a caucus leader from the Democratic Alliance.
So you didn't. So Tanya probably didn't expect to win at all. Meanwhile,
no, she didn't. It was it was a fluke win for us that we got.
I suppose that the question I want to ask you, though, is you're the person who's been thinking solidly for a couple of months now about what you'd like to do in Ekurhuleni. It's facing massive problems, huge service delivery problems. You've been passionate about it, and now. You know, you would have had a chance. And yes, you say that it might have been tricky. It obviously is going to be tricky. But do you think that you really should have perhaps made a decision to go back in? And was that option opened up to you last night?
I don't think it was, because I tendered my resignation already based on the number crunching that I had done on the 8th of November.
And were you approached last night?
Look, to be approached, it was impossible, because when you've tendered your resignation, you can't just turn around and say, no, I'm going to reverse my resignation. That's not a principled way of operating.
I don't know. I think Tanya might have understood.
I didn't attend the caucus meetings last week because I had already given up that we had, at 28%. I didn't go to the caucus and say I'm standing to be the caucus leader.
I suppose I have just one final question, because there's so much speculation, Refiloe, and it's a quick yes-no. Were you pushed out?
Yeah. No, I hated that people are saying it's a racial narrative. Refiloe Nt'sekhe made a decision on the 8th of November to say we do not have the numbers to govern in a stable coalition or outright majority, and therefore I made the decision to actually resign from my council seat as a councillor of Ekurhuleni.